fun day. Thank you. Okay, so on the next slide, there's just Kathy, if you want to move on one more. I do want to mention that we are doing closed captioning. So that's on the bottom of your screen. It says show captions. You can click on that and then you can see the closed captioning. Okay, so our agenda today is we are going to do the panel of experts, Donna, Brenda, and Lori. We're going to talk resumes first, and then we're going to dive into LinkedIn. So that's our main portion of our event today. I will close it out, and then we will go into the breakout sessions. And so in the breakout sessions, that is your time where in either small groups or one-on-one, you're going to be able to have your resume reviewed by the speakers, as well as we have some additional experts that are on the line, and I think some of them are already here today. I believe Valerie Middleman is joining us. Amanda Miller is on the line. I think Krista Morris is going to be here. Those three are also professional resume experts. So if they're giving you guidance in the chat and answering questions, listen to them. They're awesome. So once I see them respond to some things, I'll call them out as well. And then we'll have some LinkedIn review coaches, career coaches. I just saw one of them log in. Pamela Hewer just logged in, and so she's a career coach. We'll have financial coach, and then we'll also have some representatives from Best Companies AZ that have a lot of open positions available. All right, so we are going to get started. So I am going to have the three of us tagged at the top. So Kathy, yes, there we go. We can go ahead and bring that down, and give me just a second to add our speakers here. And Lori. All right, here we are. So on your screen right now, you all should see the four of us. Myself, Donna, Tucker, Brenda Mariah, and Lori Norris. This is our resume panel and LinkedIn panel today. So welcome, ladies. I'm so excited to have you back again and helping people through their transitions and writing their resumes. Thank you so much for being here. The way we're going to get started this morning is I'm going to ask each of you to spend like 2 minutes, tell us who you are, and tell us, a little bit about your background, kind of why you're here today, and what you do. And so let's get started. Brenda, why don't you get us going today?
Hey, all right. That is my pleasure. I absolutely love and adore everything that Career Connectors is doing, has done, and will do. So thank you first and foremost to Jessica for just steering a wonderful ship. I'm Brenda Mariah, everybody. Hi. My company is called Push Career Management. I'm so much more than a resume writer, y'all. I'm something of a job seeker advocate. I'm an outplacement specialist, a speaker, all the things. I consider myself a coach, a guide, a resource, and a consultant to help you get your career back on track. I do specialize working with a lot of engineers and project managers because that's my background. I come from manufacturing, but don't let that deter you if you work in sales or customer service or anything like that. I work with a whole variety of folks. I think we're going to also talk about just kind of some of the biggest mistakes, or are we just introducing right now?
Let's introduce first and we'll
Okay.
go.
So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Push Career Management, Brenda Mariah. Say what's up. Connect with me on LinkedIn. All right.
All right. Donna, go for it.
Hi, Donna Tucker with CareerPRO Resume Center. I've been in the business for more than 30 years, and I think I've been with Jessica and Career Connectors almost from the start, haven't I?
Yes.
Very much.
Yes.
I am an officer in the National Resume Writers Association and founder and officer of the Resume and Career Coaches Association, which is a local organization. I'm also certified in LinkedIn profile writing. I'm a generalist, and there's just about everything in 30 years I've seen, and we can address and we can make things work.
Absolutely. Awesome. Lori?
Hello, everybody. My name is Lori Norris. I am also a certified professional resume writer. I've been in business since, oh my gosh, let's Let's not talk about that. 41 years. That's okay. Donna will always have been in business longer than me, right? Just like my older sister.
I'm
I can
always
say
going to
that.
be older too.
So my specialization is military transition. I have a heart for helping veterans and those in the military transition, but I work with everyone. I'm also the host of the Lessons Learned for Vets podcast. There are 188 episodes of our podcast out there that is dedicated to guiding veterans through that military transition process. I love to teach resume writing. I promise we will not be boring today. I know it's not a subject most people want to talk about. You'd rather probably go do your taxes than write your resume. But us three ladies are here to help inform and educate and maybe even entertain you. So there you go.
Right. Maybe even a little. Okay, so speaking of that, first of all, thank you again for being here. Again, I just want everyone to hear a little bit on the credentials and how long they've been in business, and they have seen the business from the days we were writing out resumes and submitting them or typing with the typewriter and handing them to people. So from there, and they have gone through all the versions up into the AI craziness right now, and they know how to get the stuff done and in front of a hiring manager. So, you know, I always kind of start with this piece where I hear people, they come to me and they'll be like, Jessica, I have the perfect resume. Or, you know, I asked a whole bunch of people how to write my resume, and who do we call her? Like my Aunt Jean that hired 10 people said, this is what to do. And I was like, that is wrong. But I say that is wrong only because I've heard these ladies speak over and over, and I've seen the work they've done, and I know what they can do. So let's start there. What is the biggest resume mistake? Either the biggest one you see or like the most crazy one you've seen done?
I think the biggest mistake people make on the resumes is talking about job descriptions instead of accomplishments.
Ooh.
If all they want is job descriptions, they can find those online. You know, they go with the title. But what have you done? They're not hiring that other job, they're hiring you. And what have you accomplished? And what can you bring to the table to my organization?
That's a good one, Donna. I love that. You just get the long description, bullets of all the responses.
Answered phones, filed
Yep.
papers.
That's good.
Who
Great.
cares?
So I'm gonna give my mistake is gonna be a word that I say just about in every episode. I talk about it literally every week, and I think I might get the word tattooed on my forehead, but then I have to do it backwards so that you can see it. So let's just talk about it. So I think the biggest mistake is a lack of focus on a resume.
Yeah.
People often say, well, I want a resume that is a general resume or a generic resume that appeals to everyone. And that's like nailed on a chalkboard to us resume writers, because there is no such thing as a generic resume that appeals to everyone. A resume that tries to appeal to everyone really truly ends up appealing to no one. And so we've got to be targeted and focused in writing that resume. So you've got to know who are you trying to attract? What kind of a customer are you trying to appeal to? Because this is a sales and marketing process, plain and simple. And so we've got to know who do we want to attract with our resume, and then we hyper focus, like what are our relevant transferable skills from each job, and we've really got to have that focus before we try anything. So
love that.
I was
Thank
gonna
you.
essentially say what Lori just said, so I'm gonna say something else because
Okay.
that's how we do. Here's something that I've seen a lot. I think I've seen it a lot just in the last couple of weeks, and it boils down to there's a lot of we're succumbing to overwhelm because okay, listen, hear me out, give me a chance. I see the messages on LinkedIn, right? I see it. It's like, you know, I've been at this for a year and it's not fair and nobody's giving me a chance. And I see it. We see it. Everybody sees it. We get it. It's hard and I don't think it's fair. And I'm here to advocate against that hardship for you. The dilemma is because there's so much overwhelm, what ends up happening that I see over and over again is that many who are already in a place of desperation end up reverting back to what they used to do anyway. And so we're no further along than we were a year ago. And so I say start the clock now based on what you know after this conversation. Don't be worried about what you heard before, what you read on the interweb, all the dozens of articles and podcasts that you listened to and you heard. That none of that matters anymore. Hear with fresh ears, see with fresh eyes today, and do something different. Because if what you have been doing hasn't been working for a year or longer, it sure ain't going to work into the new year. So let's just start a whole new day with a whole new perspective, and the clock starts now.
Awesome. So good, you guys.
Can I add one more?
Please.
Typos and grammatical errors. Please, please, please have people proofread your resume, and somebody that knows English. I have a friend that has just awful grammar when she speaks. And she says, what does it matter? You know what I'm talking about. Well, it does matter to a lot of people. And it can make the difference between getting called for an interview and not, if you have a spelling error or punctuation errors that make it unclear.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. I do see Krista Morris and April Malone in the chat. Both of those ladies will probably be answering questions as well. And so they also are part of the Resume Writers Council. Nope, Coaches Association.
You'll get it yet. I have trouble too.
So as you guys drop questions in the chat, we'll try to answer them, but there will be people answering as well. Okay, we're going to talk mechanics first, and then we're going to go into the hot topic of the year right now, AI, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. So first of all, let's talk about some of the most important things to include, your top 1 or 2 things to include on a resume from a mechanics standpoint, elements to include.
I'll go first. I think the profile section is well, next to your name, address, and phone number. Gosh, don't forget that. And LinkedIn address at the top, your contact information. And at the top, don't try to hide it in cute places. But the profile section, or some people call it a summary at the top, that presents what you have to offer so that you can prove it later on in the resume. And it's just a quick glance that makes it easier for a recruiter or hiring manager to see what you're offering.
I would say most important are measurable accomplishments. Putting those numbers into your resume help people understand the scope of the impact that you've made. They help see the measurables of the difference that you made for the organization, the results that you achieved, but also the human eye. We know that recruiters, HR people, they skim our resumes, but the human eye skims a document full of words. If it sees a number, it stops and reads that. And so our goal is always to get the human eye more engaged with the resume. And so adding numbers and putting measurables and really thinking about, like, how did I make a difference? What was the impact of that? Those numbers really help set your resume apart from the crowd.
That's really good. Yeah, I agree. Evidence, you just saying that I did a thing means nothing to me. You could tell me that you were responsible for doing X, Y, and Z, and that means absolutely nothing. Did you do it? Did you do it well? Did you do it on time? Did you save some dollars? Like, get into it and stop holding back the best information. I'll also add development. Professional development is something that I just, as I'm paying attention again over the last couple of months, I'm like, the more and more I'm sitting with my clients and interviewing them to kind of extract good information out of them, I'm like, okay, let's talk about some of your development. Oh, I really haven't done anything. Is that true? Are we just going to be satisfied with that? And so I then asked, what about webinars, lunch and learns, conference? Have you gone to the breakout sessions? Did you watch some YouTube videos? Did you read a book? There's so many things that we can do. All of them don't have to cost a whole lot of money. YouTube University is absolutely free. Right? You can do some self-paced courses. You could jump in with like Arizona at Work and do some paid for grant funded stuff. Let's get this thing done, because if you are still relying on information that you knew 20 years ago and think that's still going to fly, you're already out of date. And this could be part of why those rejections keep coming. And I need us to, again, turn a new page and start a new way. So ask yourself, have I done professional development? Really scan through all those lists of options. And if you haven't, today is a very good day to begin.
And Brenda, are you saying to incorporate that into your resume, like in a section or in accomplishment statements, or?
Absolutely. I typically put it into education. I'll kind of create space and call it development courses or continuous education, something to that effect. Hear me out. Even if you're starting something and haven't finished it yet, get it on the resume. If you're like scheduled to take your PMP in October, get it on the resume. The PMP is a big deal and it's a scannable word, and people want to know that you either have it or are very close to getting it. So get those things on your resume. Even education. Did you start your college degree? Maybe you didn't finish it, but you got like more than halfway there. Get it on there and just say some coursework completed. But we keep holding back that good information because we think just because I didn't finish, it doesn't count. And that's not true.
That's right. All right, I'm going to kind of fire a couple at you guys. So this is on elements, mechanics. What size and what size font should we be using?
No smaller than 10.
So no smaller than 10. What kind of font choice?
Calibri.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. Sans serif, now ones without the little feet.
No feet.
Stay away from Times New Roman and the ones that, have the little feet on the letters.
Okay, Calibri 10 to 12-ish is kind of your guidance here. Page length.
1 to 2.
Don't let anybody tell you have to be on one page. Unless you're a pilot. That's the only one I know of that requires you to be on one page. But if you can fit everything you need to say on one page, great. But if you're going to go to 2 pages, make sure you capture their attention and you get the important stuff on page 1 so you get them to read page 2 as well. Don't fill your whole first page with fluff and highlights and core competencies, and you don't even start your work experience until page 2. They're just going to flip that first page over and go right to the second page.
Okay,
as though they're printing it out.
That is blowing up right now with, that's crazy. There's no way I can fit all this on 2 pages.
Yes, they can.
If I
remember, this is not the history of your career. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just your sales pitch. The details you can discuss in the interview if they're interested.
Yeah, if you're okay, here's the deal. You got to start with the direction. So I've started with the direction. I know what type of work I want to do. I want to be a project manager. Okay. So you mean to tell me you need to tell me everything you've ever done for the last 20 years in order to convince me that you could be a project manager? No, there are probably 6 or 7 really powerful projects that illustrate that you can be a great project manager. You have a PMP, you've done this type of project in this industry, you've done that type of project in that industry. I work with this kind of budget, we got this % on time. Like, that's enough information. I don't need to know. Listen, there are skills that I have that you will never know from looking at my resume. You will never know that I know how to braid hair, that I can cook a mean piece of chicken, because that's not relevant to the conversation. Okay, I can do those things, but what's relevant? If I want you to hire me as your next project manager, I'm going to just give you the pieces that support that kind of direction. I don't need to tell you everything. So stick to like 10, 15 years of what you've done, how you did it, how well you did it, and keep it moving. Yes, you can fit it on 2 pages if you're not trying to tell me every detail of every story of every job you've ever had forever and always. This is how it can happen.
2 things I want to remind you of. A resume is a generally accepted 10 to 15-year picture of your work history. So if you're going 20, 30 years back, first of all, you're giving me too much information. You're also telling me your age. And I'm sorry, but that is an issue out there. Age discrimination is unfortunately happening. And so we want to just give them the 10 to 15 year picture. And then the second thing I want to remind you is the resume's purpose is to entice them to want to call you. A great resume, when they finish reading it, they're going to say to themselves, I need to call this person because I want them to come do that for me. And the enticement is, I need to learn more about this person. And so you don't tell them everything, give them the highlights. And so you've got to just really think about like what's relevant to who I'm trying to attract so I can interest them in wanting to speak to me further.
Oh, good. Real quick. Furthermore,
Yeah.
can you even imagine you telling me something that you did 20 years ago? Can you even imagine how much I don't care about that? Can you telling me that you like supported the Y2K project is completely irrelevant in the year of our Lord 2025. And so it's okay to start letting some things go from our past. Look, I'm really proud of the fact that I'm a credentialed, degreed engineer, but you know how long ago that was? And so it's starting to drop off the bottom of my resume because it's no longer the future that I'm working toward. And so, yes, I'm proud of it. And this is kind of the beauty of working with an external person, is because we're not married to the thing that you did 20 years ago. We know how to keep it focused on your future and what's relevant for where you're headed next, as opposed to what you're still kind of trying to hold on to from years of old. So it's okay. It's okay. I know it hurts, but we can let it go.
Well, another thing though to consider is if you're trying to change careers. I noticed somebody in the chat early on was a lead process tech and he wants to get into accounting. Just think of all the things he did as a lead process tech that have no relevance to the field of accounting. So you've got to be really careful of what you put in. Yes, he might have just done that in the last 10 to 15 years, but it's you've got to manipulate those words so that it makes it sound like you're qualified to the new thing. And who cares about the old thing? I don't think I said that very well, but I hope you got what I meant.
Yeah, no. Who needs a CV?
Doctors, lawyers, professors.
One more time. Who, Lori?
Doctors, lawyers, professors.
That's it.
That have a true CV, but a lot of people interchange the terms. So don't panic when you see the word CV.
That's
also what they call resumes in Europe, like so that's another thing.
Yeah, and I think when people hear the word CV, they think resume, and so it's really a CV. You don't get to excuse yourself for having a 5-page resume because you're calling it a CV. A CV is literally for a couple different professions.
Listen, even the federal government is now at 2-page resumes.
Wow.
Yes.
Used to be
Isn't that something?
15. Yeah, I've written 15-page federal resumes, and now the federal government is even 2 pages max. So
wow, that's a shift. Okay, we have a lot to talk about, so I'm moving on, and I am going to get to the AI topic before I get to the other topics because this is the hot thing right now. AI, artificial intelligence. Most people, I think, maybe I'm making this up, but I think most people in some capacity are using it. And so can you talk to us about how AI is helping support with resumes, and also give us this is what you need to be careful of. So let's just open the AI discussion. Let's start with, how has AI changed the resume world?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
How has it changed the resume world? I think it changed it because I think it opened up doors for people to feel like they had some resume writing chops. I think it opened up some it opens up some skill that people just didn't have before. And so I'm not mad at AI. Like, please don't think I'm not a hater. I love using AI for practical life hacks. Like, I'll have it make my grocery list for a recipe that I want to try. I'll have it do certain things for me. But what I won't do, and what I foresee I may never do, is completely rely on AI to do my thinking for me. And so if if you're going to use it, remember AI is simply a tool. It is not like a whole solution. It is a tool that you can use. So if you were, working on a construction project, like you're not just going to be like, AI, do it for me. Like no, it can help you make a list, but it can't do the thinking and the work for you. And so, yes, it's good. It can help you with things like, hey, run my resume. Is this ATS ready? I can ask it things to kind of verify my assumptions. I can ask it, hey, is this a good list of keywords against this job description? Right? Great use of AI, really, really powerful use. Can you help me write a professional summary for this role that I'm pursuing? Here's my resume content. Great use of AI as a tool. But if you ask AI, write my resume, ooh, what it's doing is pulling content from resumes that are just kind of on the internet, and you
resumes.
You hope that it's correct. You hope that it's talking about you and your achievements. You hope. But if you don't know that for sure, if you haven't gone back in and kind of co-piloted with AI, if you just let AI steer the ship and you didn't become the co-pilot and say, oh no, check all that because that's not accurate. That's somebody else's career history. That's not my career. That's not what I did. That's maybe a good generic kind of perspective, but that's not what I did. And so we can't rely on it. Use it as a tool. It could be a very valuable companion when you ask it very specific questions to kind of clarify against a specific objective. And I'll stop there.
So I like to say like garbage in, garbage out. And so AI only works as well as you work with it. So AI is a tool, just like a hammer. And if I like hold on to the claw and hit the nail with a piece of wood, I'm not going to drive that nail in, right? And so like use it as a tool. AI was never meant to replace a human being. I know some of us are using it to replace human beings, unfortunately, but you can tell that a human didn't write when AI generates something. And so use it as a support. Let it assist you. Let it compare, contrast, get new ideas, make grocery lists, right? Like use it as a support tool that it was meant to be. But know that if you just say, write me a resume, it's going to make things up.
Yep.
And, resumes are only step one. You go to an interview and someone's like, oh, so I see that you increased productivity by 27%. How'd you do that? And you're like, I don't know. AI said so. Right. That's not going to go very well for you. And so I believe, and I write resumes for a living, but let me be really clear on this. I believe you should never let anyone or anything write your resume for you. And I know that the ladies on this panel with me don't write resumes for people. We write resumes with people. Their voice is in it. They know where every number came from. They know every single word. They agree with it. And so I just don't think that like we're using it properly. Don't let it support don't let it replace your human brain. Let it support your human brain.
May I add something?
Mm-hmm.
In the Arizona Republic today, Spike Lee, the great filmmaker, said, AI has no music, no soul. It's not human, no heartbeat. And I just think that's just the epitome of I think it was just beautiful. And that's the thing. You want your resume to have that heartbeat, to have that soul and the music that comes with it. You're trying to stand out from the crowd, and you don't want a resume that's been scraped from all the poor examples that are out there on the internet somewhere. I've done that with cover letters just for the heck of it, and asked them to write cover letters for 3 or 4 different resumes, and they all sound the same.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And is that what you want?
And I think that's one of the big cautions we're hearing from hiring managers is they're getting resumes that say the same things and look exactly the same. And
Yeah.
so it's missing the personalization and the truth, actually. And so, what are some of the other things people need to be aware of as they're using AI in their job search? What are some of the things?
I want,
Go
please
ahead.
go ahead, Lori.
I was just gonna say, just remember that what you put into like, say, a chat GPT is now out there for public consumption. And so be really careful with that. I would never put like company names or contact information. I would never just like upload my whole resume, because that's now out there in the world and you can't get that back. There's no controlling that.
Yeah, I think I have a perspective that looks at kind of the future of work. And it's not just like, okay, can I use AI to help me with my job? Can I use AI to help me with my resume? Like, you can use these as tools, yes. I want you to consider what happens when the day comes when AI does replace you, and now we've kind of stalled out in the space of innovation. Once we stop being able to think. My children, they're adult people, 20 and 22 years old, but they don't know how to write in cursive. They can barely spell because they stopped teaching spelling and cursive writing in like the 3rd or 5th grade. They stopped teaching those things, so they never even developed the skill, and now they're functioning adults who don't have a signature. They don't know how to sign their name to a document, and I'm troubled by that. And so I read a like a meme kind of thing, and I sorry, I can't give credit because I don't recall who said it, but it said, you must know what you can do that AI can't. And I don't want any of us to ever be at the mercy of AI again, to do our thinking for us and to even perceive that for a time it can replace us. Because it might replace some functions in some spaces, and then we'll see innovation stall, and then people will come back, right? We'll see the cycles. We'll see it. We can't help it. That's what we do as human beings. But don't, you must know, because you are competing against AI in certain industries. You are competing against AI. So don't look at it as like, you're going to take my job. We're fine. Because there's plenty of people that understand the value of working with a professional resume provider, a career coach, plenty of people that understand the value of that. We're fine here. The thing I want you to be thinking about is, how are you overcoming the perception of AI being able to replace you in your work? And can you outthink and outperform and outproduce something that AI can do? And I want you to be thinking from that perspective. You must know what you can do that AI can't.
I remember back in the day when computers first came on board, right? So, and it being people like freaking out because these computers are taking our jobs, computers are taking our jobs. Well, the world will continue to change and grow and have new technologies and new things. And so we have to adapt to that. So yes, AI is here to stay. It's not going away. We have to adapt, but it does not replace everything. Just like computers did not replace everything. They do not replace the human touch. So how can we use, in a good way, AI to support the resume process?
One of the things that I do is put in a resume and a job posting into an AI program and ask it to tell me where the gaps are, what's missing to meet the requirements. And then we work on trying to find accomplishments that will meet those gaps.
AI compares and contrasts really well. I think it, and it also, like, if let's say you're stuck with like, how can I say this in a more concise way? Or like, what's another word for, I don't know, whatever you want to, like, I think it, like, using it as like a supporter in the background, I think is a great way to do it. I use AI sometimes for research, but I always ask it to cite its sources, because AI does make stuff up. So I want to know like that the sources are valid. So I think those are some things you can do with AI. I mean, I use it all the time. I use it to summarize, like as an example, like a podcast episode. I'll use it to summarize, like create a summary for that. So, but again, I always have to validate it. Like it gets it wrong. Like, wait a minute, that's not in that episode. And it adds things. So just keep that in mind.
Well, there's so many different AI programs.
Right.
We're using the term AI as a general term, but some are better than others.
Absolutely.
Some are better at writing, some are better at research, some are better at technology, at calculations. So make sure you're using a program that will be helpful to the situation that you've got.
And I just want to add, I just wanted to add super fast. Customization is something that I hear a lot of folks like they really dislike that part of job search, right?
Yep.
We know that it's irritating, it's annoying, and nobody wants to do it. This is how we end up with folks that are like applying to 500 jobs every week. Like it's not possible if you're doing it right. Because if you're doing it right, you're customizing that thing every single time before you apply. You're speaking the language of your audience, and so using AI to say, hey, can you help me customize or tailor my resume to this particular job posting? It'll just help kind of, again, like do a compare and contrast, extract keywords that are in the job posting that are not present in your resume. And that could be a real game changer for you and save you a little bit of mental energy. Okay, I can swap out this word for that word. Okay, I can do this for that. Okay, here we go. And now we're a bit readier to get in motion and apply for a position. So yeah, use it as a tool. But that what was the assumption in that whole statement is that you started with a good, strong foundational resume to begin with. And so we didn't rely on AI to like, hey, build me a resume and then customize it for me. No, I came in with some great quality content, and now you're just helping me sharpen that thing up so that my message hits every time.
Yeah, that's good. So some of the tools that people use, in case you're not using AI yet, ChatGPT is probably the most used. It is the most used AI tool right now. Somebody mentioned Duck.ai is more secure and doesn't put your information out there. I don't know 100% if that's correct, but that's what was posted in the chat. There are Gemini is another one, has almost all the large Google search engines now have an AI something with them. So there's a lot of AI options out there. There are AI tools for resumes out there. What do you guys think about that?
Know that some of these that will scan your resume and give you a score are marketing tools. And you're never going to get a high score because they want you to pay for things, right? And some of them are also just like contact farmers where they're just trying to find people who are looking for a job so they can sell them something. So beware of that and just know that, again, take it, use it as a tool. Don't use it as like gospel, like, oh, this one said I have a bad score, I have to go back to the drawing board. So
that's good. Donna said Perplexity and Hyperwrite. Those are good.
I like those.
Awesome.
And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit frozen in time because I see a comment in the chat and it just says, I wish AI could comfort me as I cry internally and I keep applying and keep praying that I will find a job. AI can't do that for you, dear. A human person can do that with you. Nobody can grieve and all that for you, but we can hold your hand and be there with you. But sometimes what I find is that people are simply using the wrong tools and expecting a miracle to just kind of fall out of the sky. If you're getting interviews, your resume may be just fine. If you're getting the types of interviews that you actually want to have, stop tweaking your resume to death, right? Stop that. If you're getting interviews but not offers, you might not need resume assistance. You might need interview coaching. It could be a different solution altogether depending on what the problem is. And so please make sure that the person who wrote that is in the breakout session because we're going to get to the bottom of this. because enough is enough. So yes, human touch is probably the best tool that I will advocate for on this conversation. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much. The one other tidbit on AI, and I think one of you may have mentioned it earlier, what you get back from the response you get from AI is based on what you put into AI. So
Garbage in, garbage out.
yeah. And if you're new to using an AI tool and you just say, build me a resume, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get a basic resume that's
A resume.
an AI resume. So, but if you've been using AI for a long time, or you've been putting a lot of information in, then it's going to start to hone it in a little better. But just understand, garbage in, garbage out. So you can take a really well done resume, submit it into AI, and it'll mess it up. It'll add white. It can add white space. It can do all these things that we just don't understand yet. So that's why we're bringing this topic to you guys, to really understand you need to own this, not depend on a tool like AI that doesn't know you, because it's not a person. It's not somebody. Yeah, Lori.
I just want to make sure that we clarify, because there's been a lot of talk in the chat about an ATS, right? And an ATS, like people think of it as like, oh, the evil ATS AI robot is knocking out my resume. And we are going to talk about ATSs soon, correct? So that's a different subject. All right, well, that's a good transition. It's like we planned it. Okay.
So yeah, let's just go there. So Donna,
yes,
have the mic. So tell us, what is an ATS and how does it affect job search and resumes?
Well, it makes everything easier for recruiters, for hiring managers. It's more efficient. Anytime you click an apply button online, you know it's going to go into an applicant tracking software system. So it's unless you hand it to somebody in an office somewhere, chances are every application is going to go into that applicant tracking system one way or another. If they've gotten better over the years, remember when we first started talking about them? Oh, the restrictions, you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. Well, a lot of it's still true. It still can't read text boxes. Columns can be a problem for many of them. And that's the big thing, is making sure that you have in your resume what an applicant tracking software system has been programmed to look for. How do you know? By reading that job posting closely. Most of your keywords are going to be in there. And even more now than just keywords, because we used to believe in keyword stuffing, right? So that all the that it would recognize your keywords. Now there's something called AEO, which is answer engine optimization. And so they're not just now asking for project manager. They're asking for something like a project manager who works with remote teams and with SaaS. And I'm sorry, I don't know all the terminology wrote, but it's going to ask a whole question, because that's the way search engines or the AI works. You ask questions, right, in the toolbars, because they're right there with with every search engine. So yeah, make sure that you have a full answer, not just project manager, but what kind of a project manager and what you can do for them as a project manager. And those are the kinds of things that will that help you get through the applicant tracking system. And they don't necessarily reject you, but you don't score as high when you don't have what they're looking for. Lori's chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the top secret, high value answer to how to beat the ATS. You ready? Be qualified for the job and talk about it in your resume. Yeah. That's really how you beat the ATS. There is no evil robot shooting you down. No. My beautiful friend Marisol, who is a recruiter and a resume writer, is here, and with her hand up and waving to us. She is the robot that is reading your resume and is behind the scenes. And that's really what an ATS does. Is it's a cataloging system where so they can track who applies to their job. like Donna said, your resume needs to be compatible so that the ATS can parse information from your resume and put it into their system. But if you're like, oftentimes I'll talk with candidates and they'll tell me things about their background. And I'm like, well, why isn't that in your resume? They're like, yeah, you're right. I should have that in there. And this is why Brenda told you at the beginning, like, let's reset how you're job searching, because if you're sending out 100 resumes a week, you're not doing this in an efficient manner. You're opening yourself to burnout. You can't send 100 targeted resumes in a week. Send 5. And I promise you, you'll get more interviews out of those 5 because you're going to tell the ATS why you're qualified for the job, because you're writing a resume that's specifically for a job in an industry. And that's really, I don't mean to be flippant about it. That's truly how you get past the ATS, is that you make sure that you're qualified for the job for which you're applying. And if you don't meet 80% of the qualifications, you probably shouldn't apply. And if you aren't taking the time to tell them why you're qualified in your resume, then you're not going to get past the ATS, because they will review your resume and give you a rank or a score. Some recruiters turn that off, but some review it. And so everybody handles it differently. But you've got to know that this isn't like an evil robot. There's a human being behind the scenes that said, here's what I'm looking for. And you know what? They also put it into the job posting. And then there's a human being behind the scenes that says, if this candidate doesn't have X, Y, and Z, or doesn't have X number of years of experience, or doesn't have this degree or this licensure or this certification, send them a no. And so we get these auto reject notices and we're like, oh, that's the robot. The robot said no to me. No, a human being behind the scenes set it up so that it would get an auto reject, but it's still humans doing this, even though it's a computerized system. And we get frustrated with recruiters like, oh, why do they use ATSs? They're lazy. Asking a recruiter not to use an ATS would be like asking an accountant not to use Excel. This is their tool of how they do their job. They're not letting the computer make the decision for them. They're letting the computer make their lives more efficient. And we've got to adapt to that. We've got to adapt to the technology.
I like that. I like that so much. The only thing that I'll expand on is when Lori was just saying, like, hey, make sure that you are qualified for the role. Use plain language. I cannot tell you, even yesterday, I looked at somebody's LinkedIn profile and I was like, wait, I saw your resume. I see that you're a salesperson. When I looked at your profile, it was all this other, it was every word in the vocabulary except the word sales. Do you understand that these things are databases? If next time when you go to LinkedIn and you're looking for a web designer, next time you go to LinkedIn and you're looking for a salesperson, next time you go to LinkedIn, you're looking for a keynote speaker, that's what you do. You type in the search bar, right? Keynote speaker, salesperson, project manager, you're searching for those specific things. And if somebody has as their headline, I help people grow and learn to love themselves, that's wonderful for you. How delightful. But I'm not going to find you in my search result. And so then you end up getting all these rejections, feel like you want to curl up in a little ball and cry. And it's because, again, we're not using the right tools. We're not using the tools effectively. And we're not saying it with the plainest of simple language that I can, in fact, do this job. I have done this job. Let me show you. Let me use the exact language that's going to help you connect with me as a candidate for this job. And so let's please, please, please simplify. Sometimes I think we get all this AI and all this automation and ATS and we overcomplicate this thing, and it doesn't need to be this complicated. Simplify is going to be my theme for today.
That's good. So, go ahead, Donna.
No, I was agreeing with her. Yes.
Yeah.
Well
So good. So people are applying for lots of jobs every week, right? So you're going in, you're applying, you're searching for jobs. But we also hear that, and you guys have said this, to update your resume and make sure it's a good match for that job, you're qualified. So we need to customize our resumes for each job we're applying for. That seems like a lot of work. And so how much do we have to change our resume? How many jobs should we be applying for every week? What does that process look like?
I think Brenda pretty well covered that in saying that, cut it down. If you can only apply for 5 and spend time on those, find your top 5. You don't want just any job anyway, right? You want something that's going to make you happy that you can stay at for a while. So, really spend some time just finding the jobs you want to apply for, and then tailor, put in the keywords, put in the accomplishments that will ring true with that type of organization that you're applying to. Even if you were a lead process tech applying for an accounting position, show accomplishments that somebody in the accounting field could relate to. Even if you just don't go, yeah. So anyway, it's spend the time with it. I had a client yesterday that said, oh, my resume just isn't working the way you said it would. Well, what are you doing? Are you changing the headline each time? Well, no, it just takes too much time. I've just been doing quick apply. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be like this all day exercise, right? A good job search it's multidimensional, right? It's applying for jobs, but it's also like engaging with recruiters, and it's also like having network lunch. It's also things like coming to professional development, coming to events like Career Connectors. It's all of these things kind of converging on a good set of tools. But yeah, I typically will, when I'm coaching somebody, it's like 5 to 10 maybe applications a week, intentional. I've researched the organization. I know that the commute isn't 2 hours and I'm going to get burnt out after like a month. They don't have this expectation of me being in the office every day if I know I want to be a remote worker. There are certain things that I'm going to look out for before I ever take the time to apply, because applying is tedious and time consuming. But yeah, we absolutely will customize that thing. And so what that means for me typically is the very top third of the resume is what I'm typically customizing. I'll be specific, but the header, like your actual job target, match it to what you're applying for, right? You can't use your technical something process tech headline and you're applying for an accounting position. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So make sure we're matching that thing up. That summary again should speak to your new audience. If now I'm applying for a project manager role, I'm talking about what did I do on time and on budget, and with the quality controls in place, and I worked with this many team members, and this was all of those factors are accounted for in that summary. To my new audience, I might have like a little list of keywords or something like that I'm just kind of placing up at the top. Those should be the things that this new audience cares about every single time. The X factor for me is within your experience and sometimes even your education. If there are any little adjustments that you need to make, again, if you're a process tech and you're applying for a process tech role, great. You can talk all about troubleshooting and circuitry and all this stuff. Great. But if you're a process tech applying for an accounting role, now I'm talking more about, the financials and reporting. I'm talking about like Microsoft Excel modeling. I'm talking about some of those things to this audience versus that audience. And that is a difficult thing, let me assure you all. For anybody that's not sure, like, is this hard? I could do that. I can do that. That should just take me like 10 minutes. I could just knock that. Sir and or ma'am, they, them, whoever you are, this is a difficult thing. Give yourselves grace. Give yourselves time. If it takes me, Donna, and Lori a couple of hours to customize your resume, please understand that it may take you a day, a week, or longer to do the exact same thing. This is what we do. So please do not think, like, when my plumbing needs help, I might sit there and scratch my head. I tried to change a windshield wiper the other day. Y'all know how long I was out there in the heat. It wasn't working. I'm like, the illustrations don't match what I'm seeing. It's not working. I don't understand. Like, the video said to do this, but I don't see that little thing. And then my neighbor comes and was like, oh yeah, just 2 seconds, it's done. I'm out there sweating bullets for like 45 minutes and got absolutely nowhere. He did it in 2 seconds. So this is what we're talking about. Like sometimes we're just trying and trying and trying and trying and trying, and it's not working. And it doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you're bad. And it doesn't mean nobody wants you. It means that you're working with the wrong set of tools.
Yeah,
That was
so
well
good.
said.
All right, I got to hit on a couple things before we move over to the LinkedIn topic, and one of those is accomplishment statements. So talk to us about what those are and why they're important and how to craft them.
So you want to answer the so what question, right? And so when you read your bullet, have you given them the information of so what? So what impact did that make? So what result did that achieve? So what did that do for the organization? So what would have happened if you hadn't done it? We need to give results, and we need to talk about those measurable impacts of what we did. And that's really when we think about like taking a resume from just a job description to an effective marketing document, it really showcases the value of what you brought to the organization. And when an employer is looking to hire someone, they're looking for the most cost-effective employee who brings them the greatest return on investment. When they read your resume, they want to know, like, how are you going to earn the money that I'm going to pay you? How are you going to return the investment I'm going to make in you as an employee? And remember, they're not just investing your salary, they're investing their customers, their other employees, their reputation in you. What are you going to do for them? That's what your accomplishments have to say. And I saw it was a while ago in the chat, like, well, I'm not in sales. I don't have numbers.
Yeah.
Like, get the word just out of your vocabulary. I once said someone like, I'm just a daycare provider. I don't have any accomplishments. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
How many children were seriously injured in your care? How many did you leave sitting in their dirty diapers and let go hungry all day? How many did you lose? Right? Like, so like we just ourselves, right? Like I just did my job, or I just, what, fill in the blank, and like really step outside. And this is where someone like the three of us can really help, or anyone in the chat that's talking to you about resumes, is like, I always say, I poke at you until you give me the information I want. And I will ask you those questions. Well, how big was the organization? How much time did it just save? Like, how many people did it impact? Like, just keep asking those so what questions. And that's what your accomplishments are truly about.
Can I add to that? That sometimes people say, yeah, but I don't have that data. They never shared that with me. Oh, come on. In your gut sometimes that you did a good job. You can use words like approximately or nearly or on average. Or ranges like increased productivity 15 to 20%, things that you and if they're not going to go back to the company and check on those things, and by couching it with words like approximately or as much as or more than, it tells the reader that you're just giving me an idea. Because there's a big difference between increasing productivity 95% and increasing productivity 2%. What do I know if you don't give me a number?
That's good.
That's really good. If time permits, I just wanted to I actually have a client resume in front of me, right? So I'm working on it right now. And this is an example of a bullet that came into me. We haven't worked on it yet, but I'll go through a quick exercise with you. This bullet reads, led issue management efforts, proactively addressing regulatory challenges and mitigating risk impacting state and local operations.
So what?
Yeah, so what?
So what? And this is what I see when I look at most of your resumes. It's a statement similar to this, right? It's not going to be this exact wording, of course, because you do different work. But so the heck what? Let me give you a few clues on directions that I could go with this particular statement. Led issue management efforts. What issues? How many issues? Which other departments did they affect? Proactively addressing regulatory challenges. Which regulations? Were they strict? Was there harsh oversight? Was a grant dependent on compliance with this thing? Right? What amount of grant input or contribution was associated with this thing? Mitigating risk. In what way? Did you use some sort of an analytics tool to detect some future potential risk, and then also put together a mitigation plan to avoid the consequence of those risks, right? And so you see, we just been here for 30 seconds talking about this bullet, and I done broke this thing down to like 10 different dimensions, and this is what it takes with every single bullet point on your resume. If you haven't done this level of scrutiny every single time, it probably doesn't belong there.
Beautiful.
So that's a great example. All right, ladies, I'm going to move over to LinkedIn. They still kind of go together, and then we'll come back and wrap it, both of them together. All right, so some LinkedIn things. We know LinkedIn is a huge in job search in the job market. I think people have some differing opinions on it now because of some of the scamming that's coming out of LinkedIn, and we'll get there. But let's first talk about why job seekers, people in career transition, should be using LinkedIn, and what are the must-haves, the must-have pieces that you have to have on your profile.
Well, when somebody Googles your name, LinkedIn is the first thing that comes up. And do you think if somebody wants to pay you $100,000 a year, they're not going to Google your name? So you want that to represent you properly. You want it to align with your resume that you submitted to them, and you want it to sell you just like the resume.
So good.
I like for LinkedIn to be, I think LinkedIn is a great opportunity to show up as a human person. And so I like to speak in the first person. I like to say, I did this, like not like Brenda Mariah of Push Career Management did this thing once upon a time. Like, no, I did it. It's my profile. And so talk about yourself, talk about some of the fun parts of your personality, talk about the reasons why you chose your profession. But yes, absolutely. I believe in a great photo that kind of reflects who you are today, not who you were 15 years ago, your glamour shot from the 90s. Like, let's not do that. We can see right through it, y'all. I can see it. I can see through it. But yeah, a picture that reflects you today. A background image, I think, is a missed opportunity that so many people just kind of overlook, but it's a visual connection to who you are and what you can do for me. I'm not going to miss that opportunity. I want you to look at my profile, see visually a connection to me, see me, and then learn exactly who I am, what I can do, and who I do it for, what's my specialty, right? I could be a sales leader, but I don't sell just anything. I only sell luxury brands and, whatever. And so give the sense of who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how well you do it. That's hard. That's harder than it sounds. And I know we don't have time to like go into a whole lesson, but those are the elements that I want you to be able to answer in your headline and in your summary.
And don't forget that about section. If you're not filling out your about section in a conversational way and sharing a little bit about who you are and why you do what you do, and it gives you an opportunity to get to know people a little bit. And I just want to like really quick talk about like the two purposes that your LinkedIn profile serves. First of all, it draws people to you. If you have a keyword optimized LinkedIn profile, people can go out and search for candidates like you. So employers that want to start with doing their own search instead of putting out a job posting and getting 1,000 candidates applying might start on LinkedIn. So have a keyword optimized LinkedIn profile that really filled it all out, your work experience section, your about section, your headline. Take advantage of all those opportunities to really, like Brenda said, talk about what you do. And then secondly, it serves as, I'm holding your resume in my hand. I want to go learn a little bit more about you. And so I want to be able to go to your LinkedIn profile and see, like, what do you post about? How do you talk about yourself? And if I just have a copy paste of your resume on your LinkedIn profile, that's very disappointing as a recruiter. And so just keep that in mind. This is your professional online portfolio, a place for people to learn more about you. And LinkedIn opens up doors for you that would not be available otherwise. Like I support veterans. I have had conversations with General Petraeus on LinkedIn because he's there and active. Like it's real. I would not have met General Petraeus otherwise. Like so I think it's one of those things where it's amazing the opportunities it brings your way. So take advantage of all those opportunities on LinkedIn.
And networking on LinkedIn. You find a job that you like, you find that you do a search for people who work at that company, connect with them, converse with them. It's going to give you an in. We don't do so much in-person networking now, especially since so many of the jobs are remote and cross country. This is a perfect way to network with people. And it can be important to get the premium if you can afford it, because you can then communicate better with others. You get more in-mails. You get that LinkedIn learning if you're short some of your the skill sets, so you can enhance your skills. There's a lot to it, and 30 days is free, so give it a shot if you don't already.
If you're a veteran, you can get a year of LinkedIn premium free.
Beautiful.
If you're active duty military, they'll give it to you free during your service, and then you can have it for a year as a veteran once you've transitioned. So, and I don't pay for LinkedIn. I literally live on LinkedIn, and I've never paid for premium. That could be bad advice, but I'm also all for trial. Like, let me get a free trial. But I just know that money's tight and it's not cheap. So,
yeah. But the 30 days is worth it because you can connect with only so many without the premium. And if you need to build, you should have at least 500 connections on your LinkedIn profile. And if you're trying to do this in a short amount of time, without the premium, you don't have, you can only do so many a day, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Also, just a note, Kitty Carlisle is responding in the chat on LinkedIn. Listen to what she's saying. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, she does.
She will be one of our LinkedIn coaches. So a question about LinkedIn versus the resume, or as they work together. Some of the things that we talk about resumes apply to LinkedIn, but some do not. So what about, how we have to update our resume for every job? How does that apply to LinkedIn?
It doesn't really. It's LinkedIn is it while you can modify LinkedIn from time to time, like you don't want your core message to kind of be constantly changing. Here's my philosophy. If you're trying to do very different things, I always go back to the profile I saw years and years ago: a pastor, a math teacher, and a pizza delivery driver. This was the same person, the same profile. Why are we trying to accomplish these 3 career paths within a single profile? The answer is we shouldn't. Never, ever, ever do this kind of divergent path within a profile. And so if you are the type who's like, you know what, I'm looking to be a project manager, but I'm also open to being a business analyst, then just give examples of both. Like project manager by day, example, business analyst by night, example, but talk about yourself very holistically. I bring a blend of project management expertise and business analysis that help organizations to do X, right? And so you can still kind of show a convergence of the different parts of you, and that's okay. But the goal is to not, you don't want your goals to be so far widespreaded and reaching that nobody can figure out kind of who you are and what you do. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I go look at your LinkedIn profile and it's a whole world 180-degree different from the resume you sent or the conversations that we've had, I'm just like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And so, and trust is important in the day and age of scams and spams and all these things. We have to have a level of trust that is baked into our profile. This LinkedIn thing, it's not about just like, I'm going to get a job. LinkedIn is not just any old job board. LinkedIn gives you access to people. I also am a free LinkedIn user. I'll probably upgrade at some point because I think it is worth it. But you have access to people, you have access to training. You get to see what your colleagues and peers, what training they're attending. Like, oh, maybe I'll go to that thing too. Right. Or, oh, there's an upcoming event. I get to meet a person that I've been looking forward to meeting. I get to go do all of those things, and my profile matches my personality, matches my conversations, matches my resumes, and I'm okay. And the bigger issue is if you don't have a clue what you want to be when you grow up. You don't have a single idea what you want your life to look like or you want your career to look like next. That is a different problem. That is a different situation. And if you are there and you're just like, I have no idea, I'll do anything, I just need a job. That, my friends, is not helpful. And we need you to get some degree of guidance. Maybe take a ONET like interest profiler. That's free. It's free. ONET interest profiler. Just go look it up. If you have several areas of expertise, Zunika is saying, so what? Pick a path. Pick one or two paths and stop trying to be everything to everybody because you end up being ineffective to all of us.
So good. Great. Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat was saying the coach they were working with was having them update their resume, every LinkedIn profile and the resume for every job. And I thought that has to be exhausting. That shouldn't be what we should be spending our time on.
It can't be. What if I apply for this job and then 2 weeks from now I go look at your LinkedIn profile and now it doesn't even match anymore? Like, we have other issues. I say really spend some time refining your direction. And if you need help with that, get help for that. Talk to a career advisor, talk to a career coach, talk to one of us, like talk to somebody that can help you get some direction, but don't just be out here guessing and hoping for the best.
So good. So one of the best ways to use LinkedIn is through the connections. When you are applying for a job and who do you know? So who would like to take on that topic? Tell us how that works, why we're connecting with people, and when you apply for jobs, how do you connect with people?
I think I already said that, but I'll re-say it kind of, that once you find a job that you want to apply for or have applied, by the way, make sure you upload your resumes and every version of your resume to the jobs section of LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. Nobody sees it. Nobody sees the resumes there, but the keywords are searchable. And my mentor on LinkedIn suggests that you have one resume up there that is nothing but keywords that might be of interest to your career field. Nothing but keywords. Doesn't have to have any accomplishments. It doesn't have to have any of the other fluffy stuff, just the keywords, and just stick it up there because nobody sees it, but the keywords are searchable. So that was just a little hint. Going back to your question though. Oh, what? You froze. Well, anyway, going back to the original question, once you found a job that interests you, you want to search for people who work there or who have worked there and connect with them and let them know, and make sure you always message people, send a message to people when you ask to connect, and tell them how much how interested you are in this company, and ask them for any insight or assistance in applying for this job. What should you be most concerned about? People are happy to help. If they use LinkedIn, they're happy to answer you.
I agree with you, Donna. I think people are happy to help. especially when we're not being overbearing when asking for that help, right? If we haven't earned the right to ask for help of somebody, like don't approach a complete stranger and just be like, hey, I'm gonna apply for this job. Can you pass along my resume?
No.
No, not because I'm mean. No, not because you're unworthy. No, not because of whatever other reason. No, because I don't know you yet. And I don't know if you're going to show up and be a great asset to that new organization. And I don't want to put my name on that. That's why. That's why for me. And so, yes, I think the majority of opportunities right now, when you see folks getting jobs very quickly, it's because they're navigating their networks, they're tapping into their networks, they're saying, hey, you know, if I have a need, I'm going to say, hey, Donna, hey, Lori, I see that you know this person at this company. Can you facilitate an introduction? Why? Because I already have years of history with these women. They're phenomenal. I know them and they know me. And so it's not a problem at all to have them show up. They're going to be part of my team. They're going to be the loudest cheerleaders for me because they know me, they trust me, they believe in me. But I'm sorry, I'm looking at the video. I'm calling somebody's name. If I look at Rick Harris, I'm like, we've never met for 1 second ever in the history of the world. And so you can't reach out to me and be like, hey, Brenda, I'm going to apply for this job. Can you make an introduction? Sorry. Need to see a little bit of evidence that you are who you say you are. I need to get to kind of know you, build a little bit of rapport with you. But how that works is I'm going to send an invitation. That's not asking for anything. I'm going to follow up. Can you imagine me asking people to follow up? Follow up. What is even that? What does that even mean? That means I'm asking more than once, or I'm checking in more than once. I'm not checking in with you every 5 minutes or every other day. Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Did you pass my resume yet? Did you hear anything back yet? Like, that we're not doing. But like maybe every couple of weeks, just want to check in. I know you're busy, but I'm still exploring those opportunities. Please let me know if there's anything I can provide for you or any questions that I can answer for you. Those are the types of things that we want to be doing with our networks. And I think Jessica is back, but we got to get her pinned back in.
Hello, so sorry. I knew you guys would just take over. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so I assume you kept going on the LinkedIn stuff. I'm going to move over to cover letters real quick. Have you talked on those yet?
No.
Okay, cover letters. Do we use them? Yes or no?
Why not? How can it hurt? But don't submit them if there's no place for them. On most of the application, the online application places, there'd be a window for you to submit a cover letter if they want one. But don't send a file.
Never put your resume and cover letter into a single file.
Yeah,
like
don't do
the
that.
one document that will mess up oftentimes the ATS parsing.
But if you're
go ahead.
if you're emailing your resume, put the cover letter into the body of the email.
So one of the things I will tell you is, like, I hear this from recruiters and HR people, and they say, like, always send a cover letter, but I don't read it.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. A recruiter's job is to figure out, are you qualified for the job, so they can pass you on to the hiring authority. And so if they go straight to your resume, do you have the qualifications I need? But if you're sending a cover letter with that, they'll send the cover letter and the resume on to the hiring manager. And that's the person who's more likely to read it, because they may get 20 qualified candidates and they only want to interview 5. And so they might look at your cover letter to get a sense of your communication style and your personality. So they can, because they're they have 20 qualified candidates. Now I've got to pick the best 5. And so think, when you write it, if they give you a place to put it, think of it, your audience is your future boss. That's who you're writing to, is your potential supervisor.
That's awesome. Okay, so you guys have given some great information as always. This call will be available on playback. So everyone on the line, anyone who registered for today's event will get an email after the event today with a link to the playback. And so you can always go back and listen, fast forward, rewind, all that stuff. Rewind, is that an old word? Just realized that. I just dated myself. And so, you know, a lot of people also talk about, should I work with a coach or not? Should I hire a resume writer? And you know, we have all these free resources. You guys so generously do this for us every 6 months. And then you're also on our calls answering questions. And so I like to just say, why do people work with a resume writer, and what is the investment worth it? Because I know it's not always cheap. And so can you guys talk about that a little bit? Because one of the things that I think irritates me the most is when somebody pays for a service, a resume service, a career service, and they get terrible advice. It just breaks my heart. So can we just open the door and just have that conversation real quick?
Go ahead,
What do you-
Brenda. Take it.
Yes, we can. We can talk about it because I'll give you evidence, right? And now we can see why I'm not just saying hire a resume writer, they're good. No, evidence. What's the evidence? Okay. How many of my clients have come to me, gotten back to work within like 1 or 2 months and increased their salary? Evidence. A ton, right? How many folks that have been out of work for 18 months finally reach out for an assist and start getting interviews within a few weeks? Evidence. That's the value of working with not just a resume writer, a qualified resume writer, right? You heard Donna share some of her credentials. She's like a in-cope. She has the LinkedIn profile expertise. Lori is a certified resume writer. I have like so many letters behind mine. I didn't even tell y'all all my letters. It's too many. We'll be here all day. I have a whole host of credentials around resume, interview, LinkedIn, job search, coaching, all the things, right? And so making sure that you're working with somebody who has evidence, making sure you're working with somebody who has credentials, because there's a lot of folks out here that think they can help you and probably have really good intentions to help you. But they don't actually keep up with this industry, with the best practices. And that talks about what is the like recruiting community even looking for when they look at a resume. What is an ATS and how do we navigate within that thing? And so folks who have kept up with the game, right? Some are certified, some are not. Some keep up with the trends, some don't. So they're giving you outdated information that was good once upon a time. And some think they know how to help you with their resume simply because they're supposed to know how to help you. They're in HR, they're in recruiting, and so they think they're supposed to know. And so they then offer advice and counsel. They mean very, very well, but they don't sharpen their skill set on a regular basis. And so they're maybe giving you outdated information or strictly untrue information. I don't blame them for that, but I want you to be great and better consumers by asking about credentials, asking about evidence, looking at examples, right? Asking really good questions, interview your person that you're going to work with, because a normal job search right now, well, a normal job search under normal conditions was about 3 to 6 months. And we're seeing some of the searches take upward, 12 months sometimes. And so if you're not getting any interviews whatsoever in like a 2-month span of time, seek an assist, phone a friend, call for help, SOS, send out the signals. And then on the same token, I'm just going to leave you with these words. Don't take all this rejection. Don't take it personally, because it probably has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you, the human individual person. Some of it is just organizations like, hey, we're going to wait this out and see how the economy turns around. Hey, we're going to see if we can incorporate some AI solutions. Our industry is suffering. I don't know if we can really be hiring right now. We're going to put a freeze on some stuff. That has nothing to do with you. It doesn't say that you're unworthy. It doesn't say any of those things. And so, yes, I'm going to reach out for help when I know I'm struggling, what I'm doing isn't working, and I know I need help. That's when I'm going to call and phone a friend. Yes, it can cost. It's not free. Anything worth it, even the free resources that you get through like the state or what have you, that's not free either.
That's your
So,
taxes.
right? They're grant funded. It's not free. It's valuable. It's just if you're in a position to pay to accelerate your search, I strongly suggest you do. I hope that helps.
Yeah, and all three of you, and then also the other couple resume writers that are engaging, if you could redrop your contact information so people know how to reach out to you. You all can get them on LinkedIn. All of you can get them on LinkedIn at any time. And also, we're going to move over to a breakout sessions here in a few minutes, and they're each going to be in a breakout session where you can ask them more questions about your specific details of your resumes or your LinkedIn profiles. And so they're happy to answer that. So we're way out of time. We're way over. We go over every single time, even when I don't have a second speaker. It's always, always, always. We have so many questions on this. So 30 seconds, each of you. What is your one piece of advice as people move forward in building out their resumes, LinkedIn profiles, or the job search in general?
Customize your resume to show your uniqueness and match the job requirements.
Don't assume that people understand what you do because you say you're a XYZ specialist. We've got to explain it, like Brenda said, in plain language. You've got to show your value and your accomplishments. And just remember, this is a marketing process. And when we market a product, we don't talk about the features of the product. We talk about the value or benefits our customers are going to get from our product. And you have to do the same thing in your resume. How are you going to help them? How are you going to be valuable to them? How are you going to return their investment?
And don't believe that you're unworthy simply because it hasn't happened yet. Truly understand if it's been a certain amount of time, we might just need a different set of eyes on the situation. It could be a really good moment in time to reach out for qualified help. And that might mean just showing up to the breakout room in 5 minutes. Come and get something out of today's conversation and do something differently than what you've been doing, because today is a whole new day.
All right, ladies, you are the best. So wonderful. How about a huge round of applause or virtual round of applause for Donna and Brenda and Lori. And again, they're gonna be available in the breakout rooms, and feel free to jump into their rooms and if you have questions for them or would like to talk more. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. All right, I'm gonna close us out. And Kathy, if you could pull the presentation back up and share your screen, then we're going to go into the just kind of the closeout section here. And so first of all, if you have any feedback for us, anything you'd like to share, then please just email us at contact@careerconnectors.org, and we would be happy to take your feedback. And also, one of the things we're going to be sending out when we do send our email out, we are going to include a link to the DISC assessment. And so you will be able to fill that DISC assessment out. It's a behavioral assessment that'll tell you a little bit about yourself, and it'll tell you about your ideal work environment, communication skills, some things you might be able to actually incorporate into your resume. That is at no cost. It's through a partnership we have with Top Talent Consulting. And so that will be on your email, as well as our social media, and again, the link to the webinar. I heard some people ask about the chat. We do not share the chat. We had a security issue with the chat previously, so we do not share the chat. So that unfortunately, but security is really important to us. And so, but you can play this webinar back as many times as you want, and our previous webinars are out there as well. We are going to have, well, first of all, let me say the ladies that were on the call today, as well as many others, is the Resume Writers and Coaches Association. And they are all part of this association. So they're continuing to keep their credentials current. They're getting the best professional development so that they can serve you all well. So you guys have always been so wonderful. Again, Donna was our very first volunteer way back.
Along with Jan, right?
Yep, Gian, you and Gian, 16 years ago, and has been supportive ever since. So we're so, so grateful for that. We also have a partner on the call today with Best Companies AZ. And Best Companies AZ is an organization that honors and award support companies or award-winning companies. And so, let's see, I think we have Sydney and Connor on the call during the breakout rooms, the section. I may have said wrong. Sydney and Conrad are going to be available in the session, and we have hiring many jobs, award-winning companies that are going to be available. Hey, Chris, and manufacturing, healthcare, the trades, and then business services like finance, insurance, those kind of industry, those kind of support systems for businesses. So those 4 industries, and then we're going to have 20 companies on the call that are hiring. And we're doing this event in partnership with Best Companies AZ. And so these are award-winning companies that will be on the call. And there are over 1,000 jobs that will be featured that day. So each company will speak for just a couple minutes, and then you will be able to talk to the hiring company during the breakout sessions. So many of the jobs are virtual. So we're located in Arizona, and many of these companies are based in Arizona, but many of the jobs are virtual. So we're encouraging people from everywhere to join the call. You can jump onto the website, careerconnectors.org, and under our event schedule, go directly to this site and you'll see the list of companies that are hiring. So I encourage you to join us for that hiring event next Thursday as well. And then we have an October event coming up about how you thrive during this time of change. And our November one is about getting unstuck while you're in transition. Then the next thing we have here is a new career coaching program we have. This is something that we did in partnership with Brenda Mariah and our team. And so we went through and did a 12 module program from the very entry point of career transition and to landing and negotiating salary and all the things in between. And so you can take that. There is a small fee to this one, and we have it at $39 right now. And so you can go in, take help every step of the way through your career transition. So we're so excited. People have been asking us for this for years and years and years. All right, so Kathy, we are moving on to, let's jump to slide 16, 17. Let's see where we at. Yep. And then one more would be a thank you to all of our volunteers. And so we have so many of you that are supporting the program today. Thank you for being here. Lexi, thank you for letting everyone in and out and watching the chat. And Kathy supporting our program, our resume folks, and then all the coaches. So just a huge round of applause for all of you. We are so grateful you all are here today and that you continue to serve. And we are a nonprofit organization, a 501c3 that was started 16 years ago. And so as you go through career transition and when you land, if you are ready to give back to the next person behind you that will be looking, we would love for your support. And you can always do that through our website. Thank you all again for being here today. And as always, we are always praying for you that you do land into the career of your dreams. And we are going to move now into the breakout session. And so, Kathy, jump over to slide 22. And that is the instructions for how people join the rooms. And so what we're going to do is Kathy is building out all the rooms right now, and she's going to launch the rooms. The rooms are, you will be able to join each room, whichever room you would like. There will be a blue join button. And when you click that join button, you'll be able to go into whatever room you want. You can always come back to the main room, or you can go to other rooms. And so we have until 11:30 Pacific Standard Time to join as many rooms as you'd like. Go to talk to whoever you would like, and that's available for the next hour. So if you one more slide, we'll show you the list of rooms that we have. And so we have a lot of resumes, folks, here today, which is just such a huge blessing because that was the topic today. So I'm not sure, Amanda Miller, if you joined, I don't know if I saw her join. Can you just comment?
Yes, she did.
She did? Okay. Oh, yay! That's great. And then how about Valerie? Did you join, Valerie? Okay.
I did, yes, sorry, hi.
Oh, good, Valerie.
Sorry.
We have all of you. I'm so excited. So all of you will have, each of the resume ladies will have a room. And then Kitty is doing our LinkedIn review today. And again, you heard from Donna and Brenda and Lori as well talk about LinkedIn. And then we have career coaching. Pamela and also Valerie does the career coaching. And then Gian Boldy is here as our finance coach today. So budgeting, he talks about, the 401k, if you're not sure what to do with that, where are the places you can roll that over, should you apply for unemployment, those kind of things. And then Sydney and Conrad will be in the room for Best Companies AZ talking about jobs. All right, so Kathy's going to go ahead and open up the rooms. She just did that. And if you open up the breakout room icon on the bottom, you can go ahead and join your room. And if you have, there'll be a blue join button. If you have any problems, then go ahead, open up the chat and let us know where you want to go. And we will help get you to the room that you would like to go to today. Thank you all for being here.
Jessica, I don't see my room. It's not, I think it's all in like, oh, I see it. Apologize. Just
Got it? Okay.
far enough. My apologies.
Thank you, Valerie. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm not seeing my room.
Who's this?
Rick Harris.
You don't have a room, Rick. You can just join any room. Join.
That's
I don't see the breakout room. I don't know what icon looks like.
The bottom of your screen, do you see anything that's breakout room?
No.
Eight for interviews.
I would want to to our coach, Pamela.
Oh, join breakout. I see it. It's in
Got
there.
it? Okay.
I see it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, good. It looks like all of our coaches are in their rooms. Amanda Miller and Valerie Middleman are wonderful resume writers, and they both have a room open right now with no one else in there. So this is a great time if you're looking to talk to a resume writer to join one of their rooms. Annette. And if you're having trouble finding the breakout room icon or the blue join button, just you can open up the chat and let us know there, or you can unmute yourself and even talk to us and let us know.
Excuse me, I'm not seeing an option to join a breakout room.
Okay. Is your name Ashwak?
Yes.
Hi, Ashwak. Yes. Tell me, which room would you like to go to?
The career room.
Okay. The career coach. Great.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Let me go back here. I'm going to move you to career coaching. There you go. So you should see a little pop-up. You should be able to click and go now. Do you see that?
Awesome. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. All right, if you're just joining us, we are in the breakout session part of our event now. So we have all of the breakout rooms listed on the screen, and you can also go to the bottom of your screen and click on the breakout room icon and click into the room that you would like to go into. And so we have a couple, let's see, Amanda Miller and Valerie Middleman are wonderful resume writers, and you would have space right now to talk to them. They don't have anyone waiting in their room. Gian Boldy, finance, he would be a good room to go to. Best Companies AZ with Sydney would be a great room to go to. Those ones don't have a lot of people in them right now. Let's see, Laren. Laren, would you like one of the resume rooms? I can send you there. Then you could ask some questions. Okay, I'm going to send you to Amanda. She's fantastic. And so something should have popped up and you can click it and go in now. Oh, good, he got in. All right. If anyone is just joining us, we are in the breakout session of our event. So you may go and speak to any of the experts that we have available in our breakout rooms for you. There's a long list of resume writers here today, since the topic was resume writing. And then we have some LinkedIn coaches, career coaches, we have a finance coach, and then representatives from the company Best Companies AZ. And so you may join the breakout sessions by clicking on the breakout rooms icon on the bottom of your screen and then joining any of the rooms that you see. If you're having trouble, just let us know in the chat where you want to go and we will put you over there.